lding na hoa ya, Huên đông lding na hoa ya, Huên đông lding na hoa ya, Huên đông lding na hoa ya. Hey ang watat.
Hey ang hosai.
Hoi dante.
Na folkwalte. Ja, hoi dante.
Nuhong. lding.
In our belief, the people that simultaneous with the Kechenai. So the Kechenai, the spiritual beings, that's what Yamato Winyai is one of them. And not every not every village, but a lot of them, including this one, are Kechenai villages. They're villages that the Kechenai live. So this part of lding is Me'echtwinkit, and then across the river over there is Taikiwatilkit, and across the river, the bottom of South Fork Road is Tangaikit, formerly known as Metukakitting, which hardly anybody knows that name. The Kechenai, they lived here immortal. They never died until there was a first death in the world. And the first death in the world happened up here. And at that time the world became spoiled for the Kechenai. And that's when they started to leave this world, because it had become spoiled for them. And Yamato Winyai, he had been kind of a naughty character. And he's like, oh shoot, I messed up, now the world's all spoiled, and he was going to try and save it. And he started, his idea was he would get, he was going to race around the world 10 times, and by doing that he was supposed to save and restore the world, because before that the world was light 24 hours a day, never got dark. And then after the first death, the whole world went dark and never got light. And so he gathered up 10 of these Tseijawalchlikai from here, and he used those as markers. Every time he went all the way around the world, he would drop one of those rocks, and he used that to keep track of how many times he went around. And then every time he would go around, the world would become a little bit lighter, a little bit lighter. And about after 5 times, he got distracted, and that's as far as he went. So like the world's basically like half light and half dark now. 12 hours light, 12 hours dark, roughly. Yeah, that's what I mean when I say the place is really old. You know, you can just go up the road up here, up Martin Road, and you can see all the midden, like the archaeologists say, like they've never seen midden like that before. So, you know, like 10 feet worth of midden or something like that. It's a very, very old and special place. We do our best to take care of it.
lding is where the South Fork and the Trinity Rivers meet. The name lding means where the two rivers flow together. lding was the metropolis of the Senangwe tribe. It was made up of villages like Taikiwatilkit, Me'echtwinkit, Tangaikit. Tai lding Oleat lding. This was a place of trade. This was a place where ceremonies were held and stick games were held. It's still today a place where the community comes together, particularly in celebrating young women through the flower dance. Me'echtwinkit.
Is the leaves. swoop. Nischwin. It's a super strong smell. So this can be kimao. It could also be like people cook with them. They call them bay leaves. They put them in their spaghetti and make it flavorful. But it is a kimao. And so one of the uses might be like if you were at a funeral or something and you were bothered by thoughts of the person that had passed on, you could put some of these leaves under the pillow and that would help kind of drive it away or not bother you. It also has the property of repelling bugs. So, like our cousin Phyllis Jones, she used to chain her dog up to a big pepperwood tree to get rid of any kind of bugs or fleas or anything on it. But you'll see, like in a lot of people's Indian stuff in their chests of the regalia or baskets or something, you'll see these leaves, and so people purposefully put those leaves in there to help keep bugs from eating their stuff. And you can use it to make coffee, pepperwood coffee. The nuts that they get on there are pepper nuts. You can roast them like you roast coffee. And people say you're supposed to be careful eating the pepper nuts because they have caffeine in pepper nuts, like coffee. And these two trees, that Tanchuing and the Laohui, do not grow in general in this area. They're very rare that you find pepperwood or buckeyes around here. But at lding there is a lot of both, especially this one. But it has a nut inside the buckeye. And the buckeye can be processed like an acorn, can be pounded up and leached and eaten. But here we would have only did that if we were like starving. If we were starving, we would dip into that. The Laohui are supposed to be one of the Kichinai's foods. Like instead of having acorns, this is like their acorns. And the Kichinai, they ate the dentalium meat. And human beings are not supposed to be able to eat that. Only Kichinai. And I recently learned that there's a grass, specific grass, tloka. And tloka kyokit is the name of Pony Butte, the Indian doctor training ground on New River. Kind of a little bit, maybe about 5 miles up from the village that we're from, a New River, thing. And that grass, tloka, was also eaten by the Kichinai.
Thai Kultilkit.
Yamanchin hayo Icelandachting olia Thai Kultilkit. And we didn't know what that name meant, Thai Kultilkit. None of the linguists knew. They all said it was not analyzable. Thai Kultilkit was actually recorded in 1884 by Jeremiah Curtin with the translation. But we thought the translation was a little improper, so he wrote part of it in Russian. But he translated as he slips down on his, and then the Russian part meant his butt. And that was referring to Dang Hot Dang Imant Winyai. He came slipping down this, where this waterfall is up here called Tsesigas, Broken Rock. As you go up that, follow that waterfall up the mountain, there's a series, what our cousin Bob said, there's a series of great big slippery pools progressively going up the mountain. And the waterfall follows that. And each one of those pools was created by Imant Winyai with his hook clock. And he'd come down and Thai Kultilkit that means he progressively slipped out or fell out of the water. So it's like the name of this village memorializes this supernatural event that created this waterfall and the geographical places in it.
This is lding. This is my home. These are the stories that I heard growing up from my dad, who's my language teacher. These are the plants that I came to know. He would tell me the names for them in Hoopa language. And then he'd say, Hosaik, Witching Young Hao, Tunchwing. And I'd go off and pick a pepperwood leaf and bring it back.